In this session, we'll discuss how to sue judges, magistrates, clerks, and commissioners, things you need to know. As always, in the child support system, there are officers of the court that are covered by what is called judicial immunity. If you want to sue any of these officers or judges, you have to overcome judicial immunity. Now, in this session, we will review two lawsuits. One is by a person known as Mr. Leon Kazul, but the real underlying case is called Parent v. New York, and another one is by Bullock. We will review these to determine the outcomes when suing the agency. To sue officers of the court and judges, you must file under what is called 42 U.S.C. 1983, and we'll discuss this in more detail. You can file a lawsuit either in state or federal court. So, what is judicial immunity? There are two types, absolute immunity and qualified immunity. Absolute immunity is where a judge, who has been confirmed for life, cannot be removed or sued. Qualified immunity, however, has certain criteria. To sue an officer of the court, you need only two criteria. First, they must deprive you of a right secured by the Constitution or laws, federal or state, and second, the defendant must be acting under the color of law, specifically, under the color of state law. Here's a quick quiz. A bankruptcy judge was created by the Act of 1978, called the Bankruptcy Act, and is appointed for 14-year terms. So, is a bankruptcy judge covered by absolute immunity or qualified immunity? The answer is qualified immunity, not absolute immunity, because a bankruptcy judge is not an Article III judge. We cover our non-lawyer maxim and will dive into more details about the law itself. Here's the disclaimer: no state shall convert a liberty into a license, nor charge a fee for it, as well as the practice of law cannot be licensed by a state. As we review these cases, we will teach and show you what needs to be done. In other words, we are providing education. So, let's start off with filing a lawsuit. According to 28 U.S. Code 1654, in all U.S. courts, parties may plead and conduct their own cases personally or by counsel. This code allows you to file your own 1983 case, meaning you can file your lawsuit without an attorney. However, this is not about whether you should or shouldn't have an attorney, but rather about your legal right. The courts cannot force you to use an attorney. The law says that even though you have the right to counsel, the courts cannot force you to have counsel. The case law for this is State v. Pendervale and Moore v. State of Michigan. So, if you file a 1983 case, clerks and justices cannot tell you that you need an attorney to do it. Let's continue with Title 42 U.S. Code 1983. This is the statute used to sue government officials, judges, and clerks for deprivation of your rights. The first part of it states that every person who, under the color of any statute, ordinance, or regulation, is subject to U.S. citizens and cannot deprive them of their rights. The second part states that in any lawsuit, the plaintiff must prove that they were deprived of a right secured by the Constitution and laws. The defendants, judges and clerks, must be acting under the color of state law. Many people in the media say that if you want to sue a judge or any officers of the court or law enforcement, you have to file a federal 1983 case. That is not true. We've said this many times. Justice Stevens delivered the opinion of the court, stating that both state and federal courts have jurisdiction over suits brought under 42 U.S.C. 1983. In other words, it's about the process, not the venue. Keith v. Haywood discusses this option. When bringing a 1983 case, jurisdiction and venue are key. The courts must have jurisdiction, either state or federal, to hear the matter, as well as venue. This is called standing, and as long as you have standing, you can bring a lawsuit. What about the cost? Legal strategies are not inexpensive. However, you can file for what is called poor person status, or informa pauperis, under 28 U.S.C. 1915a. 1. This application allows for court fees to be waived if you cannot afford them. In this presentation, we'll review two significant case laws that set precedent for lawsuits. The first is Parent v. State of New York, where they sued judges, clerks, and lawyers. Although they did not win, this case highlights the necessary elements for a court case. In that lawsuit, they discuss what is called private individual liability, which applies if a private individual collaborates with an official state actor to deprive you of federal rights. This section is relevant to suing your employer, as they may have agreements with child support agencies and courts to garnish wages. The case law supporting this includes Cambrello v. County of New York and Warris v. City of New York. Let's talk about employers and child support with 45 C.F.R. 303.100, where state child support agencies are allowed to issue income withholding orders. We also discuss Lugar v. Edmondson, in which we outline the state actors you can sue for deprivation of rights under child support. Another case to consider is Bullock v. Commissioner. This case focuses on bringing a lawsuit against the county, where both county defendants and the county itself were sued under Monell v. Department of Social Services of New York, known as the Monell case, and ex parte Young. So, now that we know you can sue judges, clerks, counties, and county employees, let's discuss how to do that. To draft your lawsuit, you should understand Federal Rule 8, which requires a complaint to contain a short and plain statement of the claim showing that the plaintiff is entitled to relief. This is essential. Many people fail to include specific instances in their complaints. You cannot make blanket statements. Under Rule 10, your complaint must contain numbered paragraphs with each single circumstance identified. For example, I asked for a motion to continue the case, and the judge denied the motion. You must be clear. Unfortunately, under Rule 10, if the court finds your complaint vague, they may dismiss it or strike certain parts. Many denied lawsuits fall under Rule 10. To overcome judicial immunity, you must defeat the motion to dismiss. At this point, I appeal to my audience to subscribe to our channel to receive more of this important information. In 2020, there were 13 million active child support cases, and our goal is to provide remedies for those in need. If you wish to support this channel, we accept donations via PayPal or Cash App. This information is also available on our podcast. As you know, ignorance of the law is no defense, State v. Miller. Understanding these laws is crucial if you intend to sue judges and magistrates. This brings us to the end. Thank you for joining us. After reaching a certain subscriber count, I'll be able to unlock more YouTube features, so thank you for your support.